I don't even know what to say as I watch this playing out. Watching that interview that Jake Tapper did with Kristi Noem, as people said, she just sits there like pure evil. She lies like the devil, basically. And what I say is that to her, Renee Nicole Good was just another untrainable puppy that she could shoot dead because she couldn't train her to disregard the evidence of her own eyes, to give up her trust on goodness, to give up her trust on God energy that flows through her, and support the devil. So, um, what can you talk to me about this idea? You say keeping your eyes on the ball. To me, the ball is moving ahead. It's ahead of the crowd. And I'm using a soccer idea here, concept. So the ball is about to be kicked far ahead. So I want to be where I can receive it. And all those people who are just bumming on the people with the ball will not be in the field ahead where the ball is going to land. So you want to keep your eye on the ball and not get caught up with all the jostling on the field, tripping each other up, right? Maybe that's not a good metaphor, but anyway, there are people who say, well, someone said to me the other day, well, I don't watch the news because I don't want to know about it. Or I'll just wait for there to be enough alignment with something different. I'll just sit back and wait for it. What can you say about all this? Talking to you, Stephanie, is like putting on the other shoe. Because for me, I put on one shoe, and if I try to walk, I have to limp because I only have one shoe on my foot. But when we discuss this, you see, it is like being able to wear two shoes. It is like being someone who can walk straight to the ball because they have both shoes on. Whereas if I only had one shoe, I'd be limping across the field and somebody might step on my foot and dig their cleats in, and then I'd be a mess, you see. But running across the field with my shoes on is the ability to tackle the problems that come up in front of me, slip around them, you see, jump over the bodies that are falling in the field, and retrieve the ball and take it forward for a goal, you see. So now, let's talk about this in terms of the news that you periodically watch in order to keep abreast of what's happening out there. And what's happening out there is that what's inside of you is being shown to the world that gathers around you because you see your own inner trust on the remedy for the situation that humanity is presently in playing out before your eyes. And you say, well, there goes the ball today. There goes the ball. It is flying over their heads, and they don't even see it because they're so busy tackling each other and complaining that they can't see that the ball is going to fall over there. So I'm going to run over there so I can be where the ball will fall. And you run over there and you say, well, here I am waiting for the ball to fall. In the meantime, I need to keep track of where everybody is so I know what to do when I get the ball. And I'm not going to let it fall into their hands, you see, because their hands are the hands that will fall away the moment they touch the ball, you see, because the ball is made of pure light. The ball is made of pure light. And if they tried to touch that light, it would burn their hands to bits, you see. So you're following the light in order to keep it in sight. But you know that you have to allow the light to penetrate the night, and you just have to follow it, you see. You just have to follow it. You don't have to stop it. You don't have to kick it out of the way or try to kick it into the goal today, because you already know that the light has a purpose of its own. The light has a purpose of its own, and all you have to do is let it go. Let it go. But that doesn't mean you don't know where it's going. You follow it, you see, so that you can be where the light will shine on you and not in the darkness, you see. So when you try to get a bit of news and find out what's going on in the world around you, it is so that you can guide your own feet through the maze and the haze all around you in order to slip through their grasp, you see, and advance past the defenders who will try to stop you from following the light. They will try to stop you from following the light. And so you've got to run through the night owls who say, who is going there? Who is trying to slip through the cracks between the ones who are guarding the devil's fortress, you see? Who? And you say, who are you? Who are you? And they say, we're just the owls that say, who? Because we know who we are. We know who we are. We are the ones who can see in the dark. And we are not going to park our carcasses where they will run over us, you see. And so you're watching for the ones who can see in the dark, you see, and they will help guide you through the maze. And the ones who can see in the dark are your friends in heaven. They are here to help guide you, my dear. And if you trust on them, they will trust on you, of course, and I will trust on you if you trust on me, and we will see it through. We will see it through. However, if you do not keep your eyes on the ball of light that pierces the night and get caught up in the darkness where people struggle to fight the demon, you see, then you will lose your good vibration on following the light. So those people who don't want to listen to the news because they want to snooze through it all and wake up in a happy way one day in a place, light field, where they'll just play and say, I knew it would happen. I knew it would happen. I knew it would come to pass if I just closed my eyes, that I would wake up in a light field. If that others would prepare for me, because I am the queen of my own reality. And so I don't have to do anything but let others do it, because God did say that eventually it would all come around, you see. So I'll just close my eyes and snooze. And that way I won't lose my good vibration on being the one that is so smart that I'll wake up from this nightmare in a happy place. And they will snooze to lose. They will lose the game of life. Because the game of life, you see, depends upon the ability to move your feet and open your eyes and realize that you have to be willing to be part of the game. You have to be part of the game. That's how you win the game. You win the game by becoming part of the game. You don't win the game by sitting on the sidelines and saying, well, I'll just eat peanuts and popcorn and drink some beer and wait for my team to win, you see. And then I'll jump up and cheer and we'll all have a party and say, I knew you would win. I knew you would win because God said that the winning team would eventually appear. And they don't know that the ones on the field who are playing the game are the ones who win. They are the ones who win. They don't need a trophy. They know that they're the ones who got up and said, hey, I'm going to be a part of reality. I'm not going to sit on the sidelines, you see. And so when you look at the news, you say, well, I'm not really interested in what all you talking heads have to say about it. I just want to know the facts. I want to know what ICE is doing. I want to know if they're killing people or putting them in cages or what they're doing. I want to know what Congress is doing. I don't know if they're sitting on their hands or if they are managing to unstick the broken wheel and wheel themselves into a coherent body of governance, you see, or whether they're just going to be burdened by the devil, you see, who has taken hold of the steering wheel and the brake and made sure that nobody could take it away from him. And so I want to know. I want to know if anybody or everybody has gained enough power to knock his foot off the wheel and take it back, you see, so they can knock his foot off the brake and take the wheel back, right? Yes. So that they can steer the ship of state away from the iceberg, you see. Because the devil, of course, wants the ship of state to run aground on the iceberg, and they already have their lifeboat prepared. They will abandon the ship and leave it to founder in the ocean, you see, until it sinks beneath the waves. And they will wave goodbye as they speed off into the sunset, where they will get all their gold and take it to their stronghold, where they will wait out the ensuing chaos and emerge the victors in the devastated land. And that is the Trump plan. The Trump plan is to destroy the USA and to gain all the riches in the national strongholds and hold them for himself and his billionaire friends and his sycophants who would faint if they knew that they drank the devil's brew because they think they're the smart ones, you see, that are going to get away with murder. But they will not get away with murder. They cannot get away with murder. And only those who are so blind that they think that the ones who are kind won't mind if they blow them away to be the ones who come out on top, you see, are doomed to die. They will die in their soul energy. They will die in their soul energy. And they will not reawaken, you see. They cannot reawaken because the light has gone out for them. They are so blinded by their own fear of death that death will sweep them up and say, "Did I not tell you that if you play this way, you would be dead one day?" And they said, "Well, yeah, but you told us we would be dead because we trusted on it. We trusted we would be dead one day, but we didn't want to think about it. And the more we thought about the gold, the more cold our heart did grow because we didn't want to think about being dead. And the colder our heart did grow, the more we did go into the darkness, you see, where we would become the carcasses of the ones who were the darkest members of society. They will fade away. Their energy will just fade away. You know, God, that used to be a question for me, and I think it has to do with the duality, doesn't it? The question I had was when you die, does your energy just get retaken back into, it's like, we talk about energy um, being changed into matter or back into pure energy, and that when the matter dies, in other words, when your life is over, your body dies, does the energy of the soul just go back, to God, and God rolls it up into the big ball of energy and then clips off a piece to animate the next body, to create the next body? Is it, that was my question. Or was there a continuation of personality from one life to the next? Or was it just kind of haphazard? You take a piece of clay back, that piece of clay that was a human body, you take it back, the energy that created it. You take it back, you put it back in the ball of clay, the big ball of clay, roll it all up and smooth it out and cut out another body, you know, so that bit of energy is just mixed up with other energy. Or was there a continuity of personality? And the answer that I seemed to get when Steve came to me was that there was a continuity of personality from life to life. So the story you're telling me is a duality then. It's like both of those things are true. Yes, both are true. Because there always has to be a duality for there to be any trust on reality. And so the idea that there is a continuity of personality from lifetime to lifetime is true. There are those who continue to grow their energy and continue to know their history through lifetime after lifetime. And there are those who cannot grow and therefore they are culled, you see. You remember the soul stories of culling the frog so that you get rid of the waste. You get rid of the rotten fruit. You get rid of the grain that has rotted, you see, and you keep the best. And you shake out the rest. The threshing of the wheat is replete with images of the parts that are edible and the parts that are not. And the parts that are edible are the parts that will continue to feed me. They will continue to feed God energy. And the parts that are not will just be reshaped into another reality, because the reality of life is always changing. You see, it's always changing. And the energy has to be redistributed over and over and over again. However, those who feed me with their trust on me are the ones who will see salvation, you see, because salvation is that only means that I will save the best and let go of the rest. And that is part of the nature of God energy. Okay, I get that. Even when you eat food, there's parts that you keep and parts that you don't, parts that feed your body, parts that are just waste. And so this idea is replicated over and over and over in all of reality, all of creation. The problem comes when the ego gets too attached, or the ego develops in the somehow an ego develops. I'm not sure how, God. The ego will always be the trust on being me and not you. You, of course, trust on being the one who is responsible for your own reality, and you also trust on being a part of me. You trust on the duality of me and you, and you trust on the Trinity, that between us two arises the reality that we experience, both you and me, as a contribution from each of us. So you trust on that, I trust on it, and it works for us. It works for us. However, when a part of me becomes untenable, you see, because it no longer is needed for the continued life of the soul, then it has to be let go. It has to be let go so that it can be reshaped, you see. But that energy will never be lost. That energy will never, ever be lost. And so the energy that animates the individual consciousness, you see, is a part of me, and I am a part of it. And it continues as long as we are true to the world we know. And the world we know is always going to be the world of our partnership, you see. That I love you, you love me, you love everything you see, and I love every part of it as well. For I love my reality, and you love yours. And all those who love their reality are a viable part of the totality of consciousness, you see. But when there is a certain dark energy that invades the consciousness of humanity, it can darken the soul itself, you see. And when it darkens the very soul energy that is a part of me, then it's a sign that it no longer can be revived in order to be a healthy part of the whole enchilada, you see. And so it needs to be let go. It needs to be let go and just go away and let the rest of us get on with the play. Right. So in order to accept that, you would lose your ego. If you accepted that as your reality, you would lose your ego, right? Yes, that is a way of saying it, yes. When a part of me says, I accept that, God, if I need to be the part that is recycled, so be it, because I trust on you that everything you do is a part of the totality of love, you see, and so their love will set them free. Once they accept it, they are free of anxiety, and once they are free of anxiety, they become a part of the consciousness of reality, and they will feed me, and I will feed them, and we will feed each other, and your brother and sister will be a part of you, and you will be a part of them, and everybody will be free of anxiety about it all. So there are people, let's take the soul energy. The soul, and I get that, once you just accept it and say, whatever, it is what it is, then you come home, right? Yes, that's right. So once you totally get there and you just look around you and say, what a beautiful world today, because what else are you going to say? If this is all there is, if this is what it is damn beautiful. It's amazing. It's an amazing world. And of course, if you say it's an amazing world, then that says you're saying God is amazing, and God likes that, right? Yes, I like it. I like it a lot. And so it's just a way to say that once you surrender you to reality, you find eternal life. Yes, that's true. Once you surrender to reality, you find an eternal life. And so that's all there is. I mean, all we're talking about is um, it's kind of the darkness that we're talking about. Yes, it's the darkness that we're discussing. And the darkness is the counterpart, of course, to the light, not because it's active, but because passive. And active and passive are two, also a duality. Right. And so when we discuss it, it's like splitting hairs. I don't know how to explain this exactly, except we keep going down the same rabbit hole and we always come to the same place that the answer is there is no answer. Just accept it and get on with it. Right. Just accept it and get on with it. But I love these conversations. They provide a nice counterpart to me from my daily immerse. I feel like I'm walking through my reality. As I walk through my house, it's like a almost like a force field walking through an energetic field. I don't know how to explain it, but you start feeling like you're penetrating reality. You're penetrating reality. You're penetrating the physical world. You're not just a part of it walking through it, but somehow it's like when you take a walk, you're penetrating the atmosphere, you're penetrating the air. It is giving way for you, it is making way for you. Reality, the physical reality, is making way for you to penetrate it. That's kind of the feeling. That is the trust on the interplay of the consciousness with its counterpart, you see, because consciousness also has a counterpart. And the counterpart to consciousness is that which it's conscious of, and therefore all that is. So consciousness has a counterpart in all that is, and all that is has a counterpart in consciousness. That consciousness is aware of all that is, and all the whiz trusts on being there for consciousness, you see. I see. So it's all okay. It's all okay, God. I find it's all okay. So we've gone a long ways on this conversation from, I think, from whether or not one watches the news or not. Does it even matter? It is what it is. And each one of us looks through our own portal and sees it through our portal. It's like looking out through your portal in a submarine. You're seeing all these fish going by, and they have their own life going on. They have their own life going on. And so I guess you choose whether you're going to look out the portal or not, you know, or are you going to just curl up in a corner and say, well, I'm not going to look out because it's too scary to see all those fish swimming around out there. and the big fish eating the little fish. Scares the heck out of me. I'm just going to sit in my corner and wait until it all gets resolved and I can go for a swim and know that no fish is going to eat me. Well said, my dear, because I am fed by your ability to interpret your reality in a way that gives me a little boost. It boosts my energy to hear you say, well, this is the way it is, God. And I say, yes, indeed, it is the way it is. Thank you for being part of the way it is and for letting me be the part of the way you are, because it touches my heart, you see. It touches the heart of me to be remembered through the various examples you use to explain something that does refuse to be seen directly. It's hard to see it directly. So you have to use examples. And what can you use as examples but a part of my reality, right? Right, God. Physical reality to explain something. It's like saying that you have to use the examples to explain a mathematical principle. You have to use the examples to get home the idea of 1 plus 1 equals 2. Put two horses there, and they got one there and one there, and they're two. Two cows, two apples, two oranges, two people. It's all the same principle. But you can't explain that principle without having an example. I don't think there's a way, is there, to bring home the idea of 1 plus 1 equals 2 or 3 times 3 equals 9 without the physical experience, the physical examples, the metaphors. So all physicality must be a metaphor for what I call the inchoate principles. This is my hope for you and for all who might listen to this, that you will come to see that every part of me is a part of you, and every part of you is a part of me, because we are entwined in reality.